Welcome to That 80 Show. Mine is bigger than yours, Barret. That's how I started. On That 80 Show, one is Dori, one is Barret, one eats oats, one eats carrots. What do you guys think of that?
I think Barret eats oats and carrots because he's the healthiest of us all.
He is the healthiest. He is joining us. Hasn't been on for a while. He is the Celeb Savant, not Chart Savant. Barret,
He started as the Chart Savant. We grew him
Simple
from
chart.
a little carrot seed.
Yes. Do carrots have seeds?
I don't know.
I assume that everything has seeds.
A little carrot. I mean, where does it come from? It's not live birthed.
Oh, God, it's going to be one of those. Oh, so happy to have you back in our studio. We all in the studio together. Barret, you've been sickly. You've been unwell.
Yeah, I had to have an operation on my right hip. It was not fun. I could not walk for a week. I'm off the crutch.
Good.
So it's all the carrots and the oats. So, yeah, getting there. It's still a bit of a limp, but much better.
Looking good. Now, Dori is not very happy because we played Whitney Houston. If you're listening on the podcast, we opened the show with Whitney Houston. But Barret also said the song goes on a little bit, so I don't assume you got Whitney Houston fans here.
I mean, I used to like her in the day, and that's probably the most bearable song. But
Okay.
I wouldn't call myself a fan, no.
So, I've been to around 70 concerts.
Yeah.
She's the only artist of concerts that I've actually walked out of the concert.
Yeah, no, the concert was terrible. I worked at the concert.
With
I used
the
to sell merchandise.
4664.
No, it was her alone.
No, she
Really?
came.
It was the worst
She
concert
came
I've
and
ever
performed
seen.
at Ellis Park.
Yes.
Want to hear another merchandiser story?
Right.
I'm full of them, right? So remember, I used to work for big concerts selling merchandise. It was at Ellis Park. It was the worst experience of my life
Yes.
at working at that concert because people were just getting mugged in front of us. The crowd was raucous. I mean, the show was horrendous. It was just torturous to even be listening to it. And yeah, it was just chaotic. And she really wasn't great on stage at all. I mean, well, Barret can attest
So
to that.
from my side, so I'd never been, I've never been a major Whitney Houston fan. There are a couple of songs that I like of hers. So a friend of mine went to go see CeCe Peniston with me. You know, the chick that sings "Finally." So in any case, she came to CeCe Peniston with me without having known any of her songs.
Sorry, I can't. She came to see CeCe Peniston. Okay, right.
She came to watch CeCe Peniston.
Yeah, she came to.
Because how are you going to say that? You're going to come watch CeCe Peniston.
Yeah.
See CeCe Peniston.
See, anyway, so then Whitney Houston came. She said, "Oh, I came with you to CeCe Peniston, so that naturally means you need to come with me to Whitney Houston." I was like, "Oh my god!" So in any case, even the songs that I liked of Whitney Houston's, when she came on stage, I couldn't even recognize that was that song until it was the chorus. I was like, "Is this actually that song?" It sounds terrible.
What year was this?
I was at university, so it would have been early 90s.
Yeah, it was 92,
93?
93, 94, 95. Somewhere around there.
It was 92.
Okay, so
because
she
I was
was
in first year university.
she was in her troubles. She was in her troubles by then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it goes apt because it makes part of my movie recommendations this week. I got a game. Celeb Savant brings a game with us called Chart Savant, but I got a game. You guys need to keep score, but if you don't get 20 out of 20 for this, I'll give you 19 out of 20 because the one is you may not have been the right age for it, right? Okay.
Okay.
You're going to get a point for each one of these.
Do we work together? Whoever gets the answer?
No. Just score yourself. And if you're listening to this, score yourself. It's not that hard. You don't need a phone. Okay. Firstly,
I use my fingers.
give yourself a point if you used a rotary phone.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't,
Wait, what's rotary phone again?
okay. So if you don't know, in the 80s, our phones, we didn't have numbers. It had the little dialing thing. So it was like a wheel with each
Yes.
number, and you put. I love that actually. It was very tactile. Okay. So point for rotary phone. Give yourself another point if you used a floppy disk.
Yep.
Barret never used a floppy disk.
I'm not computer.
Did you
remember.
use a stiffy? A stiffy disk.
Lots of them.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I didn't have a computer when I was younger, but like I used to go, first of all, we had at Wits, I was part of campus radio, Voice of Wits, and we had a computer. And I remember the first time I had to use the floppy disk, I didn't know what to do. Someone had to show me. But I did use it.
Really?
Yeah, those floppy disks were the worst.
So
They were the worst.
imagine now, because even what I love is that on computers, when you save stuff,
Yeah.
you click on the little disk, and
Yeah.
people don't know that used to be an actual
real thing.
physical thing. But that's the stiffy disk.
Yes, that's the
Because
stiffy
first
disk,
they were
not the
floppy disks, they were huge,
Oh my God.
but they were floppy.
And they were literally floppy.
They were literally floppy. Then they got smaller and stiff. Behave.
What a contradiction.
Okay. I used this once. Give yourself a point if you used a typewriter.
Yes.
Okay.
I wrote my soap opera on a typewriter when I was 10 years old.
Yes, good. Good, Barret. Good, Barret. Another point if you've taken a photo with a film camera.
Of course.
Of course, we've done that. Really funny joke I saw in an episode of Simpsons recently. Nelson, he like the school bully, he gets hired as a bodyguard. And somebody's taking photos of Bart, because he's Bart Simpson, who's protecting. So he takes the camera phone and pulls the film out of it. I thought, that's really funny. I wonder how many people actually get that joke.
That is
right?
funny.
Yeah.
Another point. Oh, these are easy. These 2, 3, 4. Listen to a cassette tape. Listen to a vinyl record. Listen to music on a Walkman. And listen to music on a boombox.
Wow. I mean, if anyone's listened to this show, they know.
Oh,
I actually didn't like Walkmans. I didn't like the sound. It irritated me. Like, it would go from one speaker to the other, and it was like, it wasn't equal. It just...
don't blame Walkmans. Blame the technology. It wasn't a Walkman. Did you have a Walkman, like an actual Sony Walkman, or just a mobile music player?
No, I had a Walkman. Yeah. With
Okay.
earphones and everything.
All right. So by now you should be. I listened to a vinyl 3 days ago. I bought Pop Shop Volume 6
What's on there?
Party Pack. Take On Me's on there. Sherry Sherry Ladies on there. Tarzan Boys on there. Those are just the top 3 of Whitney Houston's on there. I think I Want to Dance with Somebody's on there. Actually, that's what prompted me to play that one. Not bad. Not bad.
Sounds good.
You should be on 9 points by now. Easy. Watched a video from a VHS tape.
Yes.
Give yourself a half point if it's a Betamax. Sent or received a fax.
Yep.
No,
Yes, many.
Never.
never used a fax machine.
Dori, I remember in our first job together, we're still sending faxes. This is
OMG.
2002.
So many.
Still
faxes.
sending faxes.
Yeah.
I remember the sales guys, the orders and briefs used to come through on fax.
I used to have a fax machine in my home, and I was at one point living in a bachelor apartment. So the fax machine would wake me up in the middle of the night because for some reason faxes get sent at like 2 a.m.
Bizarre.
So weird.
Give yourself a point if you recorded music from radio to cassette.
Oh, who didn't?
Who didn't?
And how irritating was it when the DJ didn't let the song finish to the end, and you were just waiting for that whole song, and it was like,
I spoke to a DJ from that time who said he used to do it on purpose.
So that people couldn't
He
record.
would intentionally, just to irritate people, he'd intentionally do it. And I spoke to another DJ who wouldn't speak over the back of big songs. He'd let it play because he knew people were recording. So you got both. The DJs were either for you or against you.
Yeah.
This one says a name of a video shop, but it can be any rented a video from a video shop.
Yes.
Right? I'll tell you a story while I was looking at this, is that we, near my nursery school, there was a video shop there. And he used to give all the kids T-shirts with the logo. And the logo was a cow. Okay?
Okay.
Cow. And I'm really hoping that the video shop was called something like Goldman Street Movies. Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's true now in my mind because no one can ever disprove that.
True.
Okay? So we went to go visit from the movie shop. Access the internet by dial-up.
Oh, yes.
Oh my
that
God.
noise.
Kids don't even know today. How many cables did you have to run? Extension cords.
And the phone had to be unplugged
Phone-
and that and there.
Oh, that was a hell of a story.
Yeah.
And you had to watch. You download like a JPEG. So 36 days till this downloads. Used a phone book and sent a postcard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and again I find a phone book on my driveway.
Really? Still?
Yellow
Yeah.
pages.
We haven't had one for a while.
Every now and again then one will still pop up.
But it's like this thin now.
Yeah.
Yes. Used a paper map to get somewhere.
Oh,
No.
yes.
God,
Oh, yes.
I hated them.
They don't make sense in my brain.
I hated map books. God
I'm
damn
getting
it.
way more points than Barrett here.
Yeah.
Owned a dictionary.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. And owned an encyclopedia, Dori.
Yes.
Of course. We
Dori-
know about my
Dori
encyclopedias.
owned the world's oldest. Dori's encyclopedia is so old it doesn't have World War II in it.
No, it did.
And this is the one I'll let you off on because I think age-wise it wouldn't work. Paid with a paper check or with a checkbook.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I've done that.
Have you done that?
Wow.
Yes.
No, I've never had a checkbook.
The bank's only like in the past 2 or 3 years in South Africa recently discontinued actual physical checkbooks.
I never had a checkbook. I probably could have had one at some point, but chose not to.
Do you remember the first credit card machines? Remember
Yes.
how they were the
The swipey.
yeah, so you put your
I
credit
used to work
card.
in retail. I used to have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had the like transfer paper.
Yes.
And then you just like swiped it, made a copy. Very
What a
open to
pain.
fraud. But very few people had credit cards then. It was seldom. I was also, if you had to think about it, maybe 2-3 people a day in
Yeah.
retail. And on a busy day, it would come with a check.
Yeah.
And that's only if you knew the owner, knew your check was good, not transferable. If you got to write out a check. Oh, I did. Right, not in the 80s, but later on.
Okay.
Yes.
There wasn't the 80s I had the check.
No,
wasn't
no.
the 88.
No,
It
we would
was
have been
later.
too young in the 80s.
Yeah.
Most.
Okay, so listen, you should have, most people should have a good 20 points there.
I've got 19.
I got 15.
15.
Yes.
That's a bit of a bummer, disappointment. So,
it has to be contrarian.
or less. So, one of them should have been, have you taken a photo with a digital camera?
Yes. 'Cause
Do
then-
you still got your digital camera?
I
Barret?
still use my digital camera.
it was very funny. We were out there the other night and he asked the security guard to take a picture of us.
And how
And he had to show him what to do. Because nobody knows how these cameras work.
No.
It's always young people
Yeah.
who he hands the camera to. And then he says, no, you have to hold the button for longer. Hold it.
Yeah. Keep pushing down.
Keep pushing until the flash goes off.
There you go.
What's going to happen to all those pictures? What do you do with them?
I get them developed and put in photo albums.
But what's the resolution like? Can't be great because I
No, it
remember.
is very good. It's like a normal photo.
Okay, you got a good camera. Movie recommendations on that 80s show. I told Dori, I said, listen, don't worry about doing a movie recommendation. I
Because
said,
you were so traumatized by last week's.
oh my God. By now, we put up a picture. It's on that 80s show SA Facebook page. You've maybe seen it, if not. It's not been taken down yet, that photo. It's a very inappropriate photo of the butt face man.
Is that the name of the movie?
No.
It's called Society. And Dom recommended it. Go back, listen last week's show, recommended. He didn't do it justice.
Did you not?
No, boy.
I'm going to watch it. I will. I'm
Okay.
going to put on my big girl pants and watch it and report back.
Yeah, just make sure there's not a face in your pants because it's a gross movie, Barret. It's the low point.
Probably not your kind of thing at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
It's not Xanadu.
I told Dori I got 2 movies this week.
Yes. So I'm off the hook.
You're off the hook.
I'm in the naughty corner for having a gross movie last week.
That could be it. My movies are not from the 80s. They're set in the 80s.
Right.
Okay. And they're both well known, both well publicized, both very new. So we spoke the other day when we were talking about Tetris. Obviously, the story of how the Tetris video game came about, set in the 80s Russia. And these days, it seems that they're making movies about admin, 80s admin,
Right.
and trying to make them exciting.
Okay.
There's like a whole genre of movies about like tech companies.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? There's one about how they started Uber.
Well, I started watching this. It's a series about how they started Uber
Yes.
with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes.
I started watching it. I could not get past episode 3.
But there's another one
so
about
boring.
Upwork. It's
I
like,
haven't tried that one.
who
They're
would?
so boring.
There's the one on Netflix about how they started Spotify.
That was good. I
Was it
enjoyed
good?
that. I
Was
did
it?
enjoy it.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Seriously, they're making movies about admin now, right?
Yeah.
And there's very specific ones. So this movie is about admin, but it's a kind of admin that I like. So if you're going to say to me, it's about 1980s era Michael Jordan, I'm watching it. So the first movie is the movie Air.
Right.
Here's
Which
my
I've been waiting for you to do.
So here's my surprise, right? Because comes out at the cinemas. Okay, well, when I get a chance to go to the cinemas, whatever. Friday night, I'm home, family out gallivanting. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh.
It's on Amazon Prime, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm all in. I'm all in. I've done something wrong that I haven't pulled up the soundtrack. So I'm going to ask you guys to speak amongst yourselves in a second
Okay.
for me to pull up the soundtrack.
What
So-
should we speak about?
Well, not right now. So this is the movie about how Nike, that's the weird thing, right? So it's a story about how Nike signed Michael Jordan to their brand, right?
Right.
It's so weird to think these days that Nike was not just one of the best sportswear brands, just one of the best brands in the world. Like a real underdog that they couldn't just sign whoever they wanted,
Yeah.
because they just weren't. They were a running shoe brand.
No one.
No, everyone knew them as a running shoe brand. At this point where we picked them up, 1984, they were $1 billion company by then, but they were a running shoe brand. 1984 had only 4 gold medalists, where now they got like hundreds of gold medalists every Olympics. And basketball players tend to not take them seriously because you don't really have a basketball shoe. Adidas and Converse, they're the big companies. Everyone wants to be with them. Nobody's going to consider Nike. You don't have the budget. They're going to shut down the whole basketball division. Parts of this are true and parts are like very sensationalized, right? So it just goes through the whole story. Spoiler alert, Barrett. Michael Jordan signs with Nike.
I was invited to the premiere or pre-screening of that movie.
Did you see it?
I walked out halfway.
So this is the point where wait. Okay.
I was so bored.
No.
I was so freaking bored.
I mean, I haven't watched it, but I'm just like, I'm shocked on Paulo's behalf because his face, if you could see Paulo's face right now.
No, so listen, I know you two aren't sports people. Okay.
No. But I love a good, I can get into a good sports movie. Jerry Maguire is a great movie.
And it's not a sports movie.
It's not a sports movie.
Like there's a lot of sports references you have to, but you don't have to get it to enjoy it.
No.
I put to the jury. Let me put this to the jury, Dori. So movies nowadays have a lot of production companies involved. You know, a movie starts and there's like 10 different logos.
Yes, that's right.
Once that all settles down, within 4 seconds of the actual movie starting, first song up, Money for Nothing.
Okay.
That's the first song in it. 4 seconds. Within 4 seconds, I've already seen Wham.
Well,
it opens with a montage.
Yes.
It says 1984 and opens with a montage to show 1984. Within 4 seconds, George and Andrew from the Wake Me Up Before You Go video clicking fingers.
Got it.
Within 4 seconds.
Right.
Right?
I'll watch this movie.
That's what I'm saying.
That was the only exciting part.
Okay.
But
J-Bay. We haven't even got to the cast. So in the cast, if you don't know, movie by Ben Affleck.
Yes.
He's a director, producer. Brings best friend Matt Damon in.
Always.
I love Matt Damon. One of my favorites. And of course, you got Jason Bateman with terrible hair. I've seen it enough.
Is it terrible or is it wonderful?
No, it's shit.
Really?
I've seen him with that hair elsewhere. And I think for like 80s authenticity, there wasn't product. Bad hair.
Okay.
Bad hair. And the tour de force is Viola Davis playing Michael Jordan's mother.
Okay.
Who Michael Jordan personally requested that she play his mother. Okay.
Wow.
No, the cast is amazing for this movie. But I was so freaking bored. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, also my leg, this was around the time that my leg was getting sore from my op, so I couldn't really sit for long, and I didn't know that I needed an operation. I was like, I'm so bored. And I said to my premier friend that I go with, shout out to Miss Kimberly Stark, I was like, Kimberly, my leg's sore, I'm going, enjoy the rest, goodbye. But it was really because I was bored out of my freaking mind.
Well, we have contrary views on that 80s show this week.
So I imagine, are you bored by, listen, it's admin, right? So they tell the story, of course, now it's the whole pitch to Michael Jordan. There's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of small set pieces. There's a lot of talking, a lot of negotiating, a lot of back and
It
forth.
sounds like I might be bored.
I like Matt Damon,
Yeah.
so I think he's great. But there is a lot of talking. I can get that. Now, of course, I love the story. I know the background. I've read Shoe Dog. Okay, Shoe Dog doesn't count this.
Yeah, I've read that.
Period.
I love that book
To
as well.
compare,
Yes.
I watched Hustle with
Hustle.
Hustle with a brain.
It's not the Anne Hathaway one with
No,
Fat Amy.
No, with
We can call it that anymore.
The name.
Hustle is a basketball movie.
yes, the basketball movie with
It does ring a bell to me, but
The guy from
Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler. Oh
Okay.
my God.
Okay. And?
Adam Sandler. And there were parts I was bored. It's
But
a great
there's
film.
action in the hustle.
It's a great
and
film
hustle.
and it's very enjoyable and there's lots to it. But there were parts where it was like, oh, it's a bit draggy. So
This
I
was
think
a
it
lot
maybe
draggy.
is like that.
A lot draggy.
But I did enjoy it overall.
Okay. To keep you along, right? Here's the soundtrack. So obviously we start Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. Then they got this 80s party mashup, which is fantastic. Legs by ZZ Top. Sister Christian by Night Ranger. In a Big Country by Big Country.
Right?
Ain't Nobody. Let It Whip. All I Need Is a Miracle by Mike and the Mechanics.
Yes.
Can't Fight This Feeling by Oreo Speedwagon.
Always a goodie.
Yeah. Sirius by Alan Parsons Project. Good Feeling by Violent Femmes.
Wow.
Yep. Out of nowhere. Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. And then I Want to Be Like Mike, which is a little bit... Come on.
Good soundtrack.
That is a very good
Violent
soundtrack.
Femmes really totally different from the rest.
Comes out of nowhere.
Like, okay.
Comes out of nowhere,
That's
right?
weird, yeah.
So that keeps you moving.
Right.
Jason Bateman's phenomenal. You'll love Jason
Is he in it
Bateman.
enough?
He's
Is
in
a
it
small part.
a lot. No.
He's in it a lot. He's in
Okay.
it a lot. So Jason Bateman's character, the guy he plays, is the guy who, whether he came up with it or not, but he's definitely the marketing executive when Nike came up with Just Do It.
Okay.
That's who he plays. So these are the level
But
of
you know
guys.
where that came from? The Just Do It.
It was, I don't know,
It was
they
like a
explain
guy
it
who
in the
was
movie.
being
Yes.
like on death row or
Yeah,
something. Yeah. I know the
So they
story.
explain it in the movie,
Yeah. Okay.
and they said, "What are your final words? Just do it."
Yes.
but that's a myth. It's not a true.
Are you sure?
They bring it up in the movie and they say it's a myth.
Okay.
So it also talks about the story of designing. There's a great documentary about the guy who designed the Air Jordan
Mm-hmm.
and became a sneaker designer, designed the Jumpman logo, that Air Jordan logo.
Okay.
So all of that's like really cool. I love that stuff. I think
Yeah.
it's great. The backstory behind it, you got to check out a website called History versus Hollywood. I told Dori about it.
Yes.
After every like movie based on a true story, I go check out History versus Hollywood.
okay.
Check out the people who played and the actual story behind
What's
the
dramatized,
events.
what's not dramatized.
Exactly, right? So obviously like this, they make out that they made the Air Jordan in a weekend, which they didn't do. I mean, it was a bit of a longer process. In making the movie, obviously Michael Jordan owns the rights to all his story. It's his story, right?
Yeah.
So Ben Affleck had a meet with him to get his approval on it. So Michael Jordan says, look, obviously I want Viola Davis playing my mother. That's one of my requests.
Is it Viola or Viola?
I'll go with you. If you say Viola, I'll go with
I've been
I think
Viola.
it's Viola.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go with you, Viola Davis. That was Michael Jordan's request. Michael Jordan then says, who are you going to get to play me? Right? And Ben Affleck says, no one. So you never see Michael Jordan in it.
Really?
You see there's a guy.
That's why I remember we had this discussion.
where
We were
the
like,
co-
who's playing Michael Jordan?
So there's a guy who is, so you see his back, you see him walk in, you never
so
see
he's
his
like a
face.
body double.
He's a double. You hear his voice, but they don't show him. Every time they show Michael Jordan, they show actual archival footage of Michael Jordan. To the point that Ben Affleck said, if I put somebody to play you,
Yeah.
it's going to be all about that person.
Yeah.
It'll be bad for them,
Yeah.
and it's going to take away from the movie, which actually points to my second movie, right? Where this comes about. So that is great. I mean, Michael Jordan only made $100 million from playing. He's made so far, and still counting, $4 billion from Air Jordan. Because Air Jordan's a separate
Yeah.
brand. It's not even Nike Air Jordan anymore.
Yeah.
It's Air Jordan. It's juggernaut. It built modern day Nike. One of the funny things is one of the companies pitching Converse. Nike bought Converse a couple of years ago. Nike now own Converse.
Huh.
Right? That's just what a juggernaut they are. It's so weird
Yeah.
to watch this movie go, wow, Nike was actually scrappy.
Yeah.
So if you're a meddling 80s show like ours, we want to be like Mike and get the right little bit of luck. So that's my first movie.
And we want Jason Bateman to be involved.
Got
Always,
to be
yes.
involved. Got to be involved. Okay? So that's my first movie,
Okay.
right?
So it's a recommendation. You're saying absolutely watch it.
100% watch it. 100% watch it. My second movie is the Whitney Houston movie. I Want to Dance with Someone. Barret just said, I haven't seen it yet. I thought you
No.
went to the premiere or screening.
No, we weren't invited, and it was on screen, and like blink and you missed it, and then it was off.
But you also just said you're not a fan. So
I
why
would
do you
like to
see
see
it?
the movie though.
Okay.
I'd
So
be
who's
interested
playing
to
Whitney
see.
Houston?
So that's the second movie. Here's the thing, right? And one thing kept distracting me the whole thing. And this is the thing when we got people who are so in our mind's eye. Like Michael Jordan and Whitney Houston weren't that long ago. You see them in concert. They're not people distant enough. And in Michael Jordan's case, we still see him a lot overexposed. So the actress playing Whitney Houston, Naomi Ackie, okay. Naomi Ackie, from English actress.
Yes.
She is so unspectacular because Whitney Houston was, you may not like her music, she was spectacular.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that was one of the main reasons, and one of the big criticisms. But she was spectacular. On screen, camera loved her. She was gorgeous, right? And comparatively, this actress, this is the thing, like the Michael Jordan thing.
Yeah.
You kept going, I don't buy into it. I don't believe her
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Oh,
She-
bad casting.
So
Oh, okay.
she doesn't sing.
Okay.
Every time she sings, it's actually Whitney Houston
Right.
that she's just singing along to. Not well at times.
Okay.
She doesn't have the presence. And what they do sometimes is there's certain songs where they will actually show the music, the making the music video of that song.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's I Want to Dance with Somebody, Got to Dress Up Like That. And then there's one of the It's All Right, But It's Okay, one of the 90s songs.
Yeah.
And you're looking at, but I've seen that it throws you so much to the point that I stopped buying into the movie because of that. Because but Whitney Houston was so spectacular.
Yeah.
So
Maybe that's why it was a blink and you miss it on the screen compared to like Rocket Man or Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, I was just
It
thinking.
was like
it
they
sounds
were
like-
massive and they were there all the time, and the Whitney Houston one just sort of disappeared into the
I
background.
didn't even know it existed until today.
well, here's the weird thing about it, right? So Rocket Man, that's one of the comparisons. So Rocket Man, Taron
Egerton.
Egerton.
he sings, right?
Yes.
I was like, oh, why are you singing like Elton? No one can sing like Elton John, right? Then Bohemian Rhapsody, he sang. He sang like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Now you have this kind of like nowhere, it's Whitney Houston. So either do one or the other.
Yeah.
Like if she could sing like Whitney Houston, maybe she would, but it was just weird.
So
And
why do you think she was cast?
No idea. But what it got me thinking is like, surely we're not far off on these biopics of actually being able to use AI and CGI
Yep.
Oh,
and
that's
actually
scary.
casting the person as themselves in
Yeah.
the biopic,
No,
right?
that's horrible.
Now, Whitney Houston's family signed off on this movie. They approved it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, they said, go ahead, make this movie.
Because they're going to get money?
Possibly. I can't imagine that the Whitney Houston estate is short of money. I mean, she is, even to date.
Hey, we don't know what kind of drug debt there was there.
Oh, no. Not even Taylor Swift is breaking Whitney Houston records. I mean,
Okay.
that's how Whitney Houston records are standing.
Yeah.
So they signed off. The guy who plays Bobby Brown, odious guy. I can't stand him, but Bobby Brown is odious as shit.
Okay.
Okay, so I thought, could Bobby Brown be Weasleyer? This guy's Weasley as hell.
Okay.
And then you actually look back at photos of Bobby Brown then, and it's like, oh, he is so Weasley. And funny thing, at the end of the movie, they obviously show like photos of the key people, whatever. No Bobby Brown. They,
Oh, really?
they don't show him.
Huh.
And I blame him, right?
Yeah.
Like he
No.
took her, she was there, but he did,
Oh, because I've heard that she was already there before she met him.
but obviously enables her. Obviously he's going to enable her.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't care enough to have an opinion. Sorry.
No, I love me Whitney. I think it was very sad what happened to her. It's absolute tragedy what happened to her. So
No,
that's
I agree.
that's the second movie in my recommendation. And even worse, what happened to her daughter.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like just absolute pity. If you don't know Whitney Houston, she died.
Yeah.
She's no longer with us.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So that's Whitney Houston.
Didn't the daughter die the same way?
It's
drowning
so
in the bath.
similar, drowned in the bath.
Very similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very similar. So that's what, and and it was very close to the anniversary date.
I don't know.
I think there was something weird like that. Probably, yeah, in this, on the History versus Hollywood, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. So those are two movies set in the 80s predominantly that I'm recommending.
So where does one watch the Whitney Houston movie if one wants to?
So you can rent it all over the place. It's not going to be long before it's on Showmax or something like that, right? I expect it to come quite soon. Air is on Amazon Prime right now. Air is worth a watch. Barrett didn't like it.
I will
Soundtrack's
potentially report back. I'm probably not going to watch the Whitney Houston movie, but I do want to watch Air for obvious reasons. So I'll report back when I do.
Whitney Houston movie is a typical autobiographical. They try to cover a lifespan of like 30 years in a runtime.
I just don't care enough.
And it's not done with like the flair that Rocket Man was done, you know, because Elton John was involved with that. And it's not done with the lovingness that Bohemian Rhapsody was.
Yeah.
Because that was an absolute love letter to Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
And Elton John was a love letter to himself. So it's kind of like it's just quite a bit of a weak, damp autobiographical movie.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you, though,
Hey,
for reporting back. And did you watch Tetris?
I have watched Tetris, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I'm very keen on.
We started about Tetris, started talking about it, but like I say, it's about admin, and it actually took us into a place where we're talking about Europe because obviously, you know, they brought the song back into current playlists. So that's where we ended up with that episode and spoke about all the different people that the lead singer of Europe had encountered. So that's another one. Watch Tetris. Watch it.
Oh, I'm very keen on that
So
one.
just, I don't know if you've heard, another biopic that they're going to be making soon is one of Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Really?
Yes. I saw there's going to be a biopic.
That's
Both
weird.
Pal and I both like, why?
Why?
I mean,
Well,
I
as-
love me some Frankie Goes to Hollywood, but
Gonna make
biopic?
of one
Well, I mean,
song?
I saw Holly Johnson posted on
Two
his
songs.
Two tribes. Oh,
3
yeah.
or 4, 5.
3 songs.
And then he had a
However-
solo. And then, I saw Holly Johnson posted on his Instagram that they're going to be doing a biopic of Frankie Goes to Hollywood. So there we go.
I mean, maybe there's a whole story there that we just don't know. We haven't gone down the rabbit hole.
You know what? Maybe it'd be interesting because, like, if you take Whitney Houston, we know everything.
Yeah.
We saw everything.
Yeah.
So maybe Frankie Goes to Hollywood would be great. What it made me long for is a George Michael biopic. I'm like, okay.
I'm sure that's going to happen soon.
Well, George Michael's estate won't approve it. That's,
okay.
that's the latest. So we're going to get into Chart Savant.
Yes.
Going to play the game. But first, you were telling us about your interview, your tribute interview with Olivia Newton-John's manager?
Publicist. Yes.
So that's out. It's out now.
Oh,
It's
yes.
been out for a while. I haven't listened
No,
yet.
you have to listen to it. It's so good.
Dori said she almost cried.
I did almost. I cried a little.
Okay.
No, it's very emotional. And it just makes me sad that we never got to meet her and speak to her.
Yeah.
And Barret
That's-
was very touching for Barret.
Yeah. I mean, the guy who Barrett speaks to, the publicist, Michael?
Michael Caprio, yes.
Yeah. He just sounds divine. He sounds like a wonderful person.
Yes.
And he's had an extraordinary experience being involved with this since the 1990s.
1998, yeah.
Yeah.
25 years.
Okay.
So it's a great story. And he's full of great stories.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really a wonderful listen. I highly recommend it.
So we're going to put the link to that in the show notes of this episode, or you can find it the Celeb Savant. Just Google
Michael
that.
Caprio is the
Yeah, it's
the
kind of like
episode.
the last 2 or 3 episodes of recent. One of the more recent ones.
recent-ish.
Yeah, so to be, last 3.
You are a podcasting phenom. You're just always doing,
Constantly
constantly
making podcasts.
just constantly, and doesn't like podcasts.
we manage one a week.
Doesn't like podcasts. So he plays a game where basically the game works like this.
Yes.
Is that Barret loves charts. He collects chart books. As a kid, he didn't listen to stories. He listened to charts.
Yes.
I mean, I listened to Casey Kasem.
And we'll listen to Casey
Specifically.
Kasem. I listened to Casey Kasem, and I then wanted to watch Scooby-Doo for some unknown reason, unconnected. So what he does is he will give us 5 songs, the top 5 songs. We have to identify whether it was US or UK, the year and the month.
Yes.
Go down like that. We've never got it without cheating.
Well, I don't cheat.
I
can't-
cheated.
You cheat. Well, you can't
now
now.
you admit
The,
it.
the last time we played, I cheated. I cheated like a hound.
What did you do?
Hala.
Were you Googling?
I totally Googled. That's why I did the Murder, She Wrote one. I cheated like hell.
That's rude.
Well, guess what? Now we can see you, so you can't cheat.
I didn't cheat. Barret says this one is very easy. He gives us a clue. And the clue this week was stationary.
Yes.
Yes, but he spelled it wrong.
Oh, that's
So
what I
not-
was wondering. Well,
Well,
he
I
spelled
kind
it
of-
right, but we don't know because it's stationary with an A.
Yes.
So it's supposed to have been stationary with an E,
Yes.
as in pens and pencils.
Yes, that's one.
So as the grammar Nazi of the group, let me explain the difference.
Yes, please.
Okay, and how to remember the difference, because this was given to me by one of my English teachers.
I have a way to remember it.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's much the same way.
Yes.
Where stationery with an E is for pens and pencils, which have an E. And stationery with an A like in car, because the car is stopped at a station.
And has an A.
And has an A on it. So that's how we all learned.
Yes.
But so I came up with, I thought maybe he spelled it wrong. So I came up with ideas for both potential options. And if it was stationery with an A, which is stopped.
Yes.
The song Stop by Sam
Brown, correct, yeah.
Which I am not even entirely sure is from the 80s.
Right.
No, it is.
Is it from
Yes.
late 80s probably?
88, 89.
Yes.
No,
but then I
not-
thought, okay, well, if it's with an E, what is the obvious song that comes to mind when you're
one?
talking about stationery, as in pens and pencils? The Beautiful South. I love you from the bottom of my pencil case. That's what came to my mind. I don't know if I'm correct. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
No, because I had the total wrong one. It was like
Yeah.
stationary. I thought it
Well,
was,
Dori, you are correct.
wow.
Woohoo!
Jeez, that was...
So that is one of
I
our
thought-
songs.
That was a journey.
Ooh,
Okay, so we've got the songs. Now, Barret, for time, I see you've got a lot of notes there.
Okay.
So only read the most important part of the notes.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's the song. This song was number 5
Yes.
in this particular month
And you.
and year
And place.
and country.
Okay. So, staying at number 5 is Pet Shop Boys with It's All Right, the third and final single from their studio album Introspective. The lyrics list a wide variety of serious political issues in the headlines at the time. So this is staying at number 5, Pet Shop Boys with It's All Right. Okay, down from 2 to number 4 is Song for Whoever by The Beautiful South. It was certified silver by the British phonographic industry and is one of their best-selling singles. This is Song Forever by The Beautiful South.
Okay, so that's where, I get these ahead of time. I load them up. I didn't even listen. I heard the first 2 lines, so I didn't even pick up what song it was. So that's the song Dori is talking about. What's the meaning behind that song? I mean, it's obviously love letters to someone in class, right?
No, it's Song for Whoever. It's supposed to be like kind of a cynical.
Yes.
Yeah, I can.
But the bottom of your pencil case?
I don't care who this person is.
Yeah, I've got it written right here.
Okay.
It is sung from the point of view of a cynical songwriter who romances women solely to get material for love songs.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, Dori, any ideas on anything?
Yes. So far, definitely leaning towards the UK,
Okay.
mostly because it's UK bands
And
so far.
yeah, Pet Shop Boys.
I'm leaning towards later 80s because that Pet Shop Boys song was definitely from, I would go 87 or 88.
Okay.
Month is going to be a
Month is
random
crapshoot,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I'm leaning. Where are you leaning?
UK. Year, I don't know. Year, I'll take your guidance, but I do think it's UK. And we're with Barret today, so you can read it because Barret does not have a poker face.
No.
We can 100% read his. So just watch him. Right.
What's next?
This song would be number 3. in
Yes,
the
so
chart.
staying at number 3 is London Nights by London Boys. Did you know that they are both dead because their duo were killed when their car was hit by a drunk driver in the Eastern Alps, Austria on the 21st of January 1996? Ephraim's wife also died in the accident, leaving their 3-year-old son orphaned and leaving Fuller's 10-year-old daughter without a father.
Jeez, thanks for...
Wow.
Wow, thanks, Barret.
Buzzkill.
Wow.
So this
Jesus.
is staying at number 3, London Nights by London Boys.
Eurodisco, I love it.
Yeah.
Fun fact, London Boys, they're not from London, are they? They're German.
I think so, yeah.
And weren't London Boys like Bad Boys Blue where because you said they're both dead, but didn't they keep reviving members? Well, obviously not the main two, these two.
No.
But they kept replacing members and kept touring for years?
No. Definitely not.
I'm thinking Bad Boys Blue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
These are all boy bands I don't care about.
I think
Sorry.
Bad Boys Blue, they like Boney M, they keep changing members and they're still performing to this day, Bad Boys Blue. Yeah. Get them, Barret.
Okay. Up from number 12 to number 2 is the debut single of English pop singer Sonia, written by Stock Aitken and Waterman. It was from her debut album, and it reached number 10 on the Billboard Dance Club Play chart. This is Sonia with You Will Never Stop Me From Loving You.
That 4 to the floor. Stock Aitken Waterman.
God, I hate it.
Barret did the Rick Astley dance. Dori vomited. It was spectacular to watch.
Horrible.
Why do you hate Stock Aitken Waterman that fall to the floor?
I don't hate all Stock Aitken Waterman.
Honestly.
But that is just bleh. Bleh.
So I'm locked in. It's UK.
Oh, totally.
London
UK.
boys and
It's totally UK.
totally UK, and it is late 80s.
Yeah.
Now that I think about the pencil case song,
Let's hear number one and then we'll make decisions.
all right.
Okay. So staying at number one is Soul to Soul with Back to Life, However You Want Me.
Great song.
UK.
The group won their first Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a duo group with a vocal for this song. So staying at number one, Back to Life by Soul to Soul.
If you're in South Africa, you will know that song is the Back to School, Back to Reality song.
Terrible.
Remember that?
Awful.
Remember that?
Yes.
So when we were kids, one of the retail brands who sold school stationery, Barret looks like he's never heard this before.
No, he looks so confused.
Oh my word! Who did school? I want to say CNA.
I want to say CNA.
I want to say CNA because they had lots of money back then. They created an ad that they used that song with a bunch of kids singing "Back to School, Back to Reality."
But you know that it was somebody in the marketing department who was a huge fan of the song and just thought, why not?
Hey, and we're talking about it, and I'm telling you, loads of people have heard it now and gone, "Oh my God, I remember that."
I actually do. As you
It's
said.
back to school, back to reality. People still sing it to this day. How do you know you're with a South African? I'm telling you, if you're with a South African in their 30s, late 30s, early 40s, at least, play that song and see what they sing. Then you know they're
You need to
South
test
African.
if someone is South African. That's the way you test it.
Also ask that bun, when you take a sausage,
Yeah.
like a Vienna, and you put in a bun, what do you call it?
A hot dog.
There you go. That's
A
how you
what?
know you're with a South African.
Hot dog.
It's hot dog in the rest of the world. In South Africa, it's a hot dog.
Hot dog.
I've never heard that before.
Well, you don't spend enough time. You obviously didn't go to Rao.
So now I was leaning 87, 88. After that, I'm leaning 88, 89.
I'm saying 89 because
You're
that song was
definitely,
huge in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with 89. But maybe early 89.
I'm going later 89.
Really?
Because of how big it was in the 90s. I'm going July. I'd be safe. A lot of summery songs. So if it's
Yes.
UK, it's going to be party time.
Okay,
I'm going July 89 UK.
fine. I will go May 89 UK.
Okay. So Murphy's Law, it'll probably be, well, there's only May, June. 1 month between, probably June.
So it's the 9th of July, 1989.
Paulo wins, and he didn't even cheat.
I did not even cheat.
Well, unless he was really sneaking. with
No, I
people.
didn't. You can take my phone. I didn't even cheat.
Yeah, I told you it'd be easy this week.
I
Other side.
I don't
to
think.
you,
I don't
no.
think it was easy. I think it was challenging enough,
Oh, okay.
and it was fun. I enjoyed that.
That was a good one. Great songs.
Oh, what great
I
songs!
almost.
Except for the Sonia and the London Boy. Okay, so 3 great songs.
So you're gonna hate it because when I heard that Sonia song, I was like, oh, I need a closing song for the show. I wonder if
Nope.
I should just swap
Nope.
it out and just
Nope.
put.
You need a closing song for the show. I've got one.
Oh no, I gave it to Barret.
Oh,
I asked him for
yes,
a
you did.
recommendation.
Yes.
I did ask him
We
for a
did let him.
recommendation.
Next week, I have a song.
All right, so that has been that. Can you believe it? That has been that 80 show.
Yo,
I'm thinking of something.
what are you
I'll
thinking?
throw it out there. So obviously, when we do the show live on Cliff Central, we've got to keep it within an hour.
Yeah.
But podcast, we don't have to. I'm wondering if we don't do bonus pods. So we kind of like do an hour and then carry on as the podcast, right? Because often we have to limit what we're talking about.
Yeah,
I
I'm lost.
Like what?
no, what I'm saying is, right? Because obviously, if you're listening on Cliff Central, it's live and we
Yes.
only got an hour slot.
Yeah.
But if you're listening on the podcast, there's no time limit.
So what? You just want us to carry on talking,
So we could like finish the hour
right?
and then still do an extra few minutes for the podcast listeners.
About?
Yeah, typically we wouldn't have anything to talk about. So who knows?
I think I'm a bit talked out for this week.
Well, you talked out.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little
well,
bit.
All right. All right. I should be talked out because I did all the heavy lifting. Watched 2 movies after all. Okay,
Yes.
okay, all right. Fine. So movie recommendations this week, Air and the Whitney Houston biopic. Watch Air first. There's also a movie floating around called Society.
Oh God.
About what happens at a well-known bar in Four Ways and the surrounding lifestyle estates. The Chart Savant joined us
The Celeb Savant.
Celeb Savant. He joined us as the Chart Savant, but he is the Celeb Savant. He's a celeb
Go
whisperer.
listen to all his interviews, especially the Olivia Newton-John.
And listen,
Thank you.
people in the know, IDKs, people in the know, in the know.
Okay,
in the know, are saying some of the younger artists Barrett's got on there are like the next big thing.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So people, IDKs, Gen Zs. Gen Zs are saying this. Gen Zs are saying this, that there's artists on there that are the next big thing. So they are there. Go listen to all of them. Dori, what's your favorite thing from this week's show?
Sure. Don't know.
You can't remember.
I can't remember.
You can't remember an hour back.
You
can't remember an hour back. We did the quiz up front. Got you 20 out of 20.
No, that quiz was fun. That was huge fun. My favorite thing from this show was just having lots of mental images of J-Bay as we were talking about it.
Oh, yes.
That was good.
I'm glad that we're all in studio together.
That was so fun.
That's a treat.
Yes.
We should do this more often. I even showed Barrett this.
I can't actually remember the last time we did this. It was before COVID.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. That we were all in the studio together.
Remember that time. Remember those days. This has been That 80s Show. Barrett, thanks for joining us. That 80s Show essay on Facebook. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.